Hi everybody, it is Nick from Booster and we are continuing the key quick conversation series asking advertising and marketing leaders and those in the business who are artists, authors, who have anything to do with creativity, what they believe the key is to great creativity. And I'm here with Adam in the middle of Soho and we're wanting to talk about this, but I think what I'd love to say first is that Adam and I used to work together, didn't we?
We did 20 years ago,
20
and you
years
haven't
ago.
changed a bit. You
Nor
have
of
an
you.
excellent moisturiser, Nick. You are lovelier than ever.
I'm very fluky with my jeans.
Unbelievably handsome.
Jesus. So, completely thrown me.
Let's keep the bit about you being handsome in.
Yeah, okay, let's. So, we used to work together at EURO RSCG when at Gospel many moons ago, and your career has taken different paths, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But please do introduce yourself first, and then we can get into what is the key to great creativity.
Okay, hello, I'm Adam Leigh. I spent 30 years in advertising, 20 years in multinationals. I had my own agency for 10 years, which we sold. And for the last 11 years, I have been a partner in a boutique executive search business in the creative industries, advertising, marketing, so on and so forth. I have also pursued my first love, which I never managed to achieve during my advertising career, which is I do a lot of writing. And so I've written 3 books. The first one's called The Curious Rise of Lazarus, and it's about an imaginary startup that does very well. The second one is called Chicken Wars, and it's a rom-com about a kosher butcher who falls in love with a vegan cafe owner. And the third one is called The Pod Couple, and it's a rom-com about a couple of exes who present a podcast about relationships and will they, won't they get back together.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, great.
Available at amazon.co.uk.
Very good. And have they topped the charts? And
they have topped some charts, mainly when I give them away for free. Then they do it incredibly well. People love getting them for nothing. They're less excited about paying for them, but hopefully that won't deter anyone listening to them.
So hopefully
there
that
we
helps
go.
as well. So let's get to the question.
Yeah.
What is, now thinking about you as an author and having all of that experience from creative agencies as well, what is the key to great creativity?
So I think there are probably 2 thoughts. I've thought about this. The first one, and I apologize for this in advance because it's going to sound ridiculously pretentious, but I studied English a long time ago, and I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday, but I can remember a very famous quote from Alexander Pope, we're on the subject of what is wit, and the quote is, that which was oft thought but ne'er so well expressed, which basically says that there are no original ideas, there's only just an ability to make something look different, sound different, be different by the originality you bring to bear.
Yeah.
And that's certainly impacted on me as I've tried to write books, you know, knowing that you can see plot lines in all different forms and formats, but actually you have to try and do something originally. And the second thing that I've learned is it's about determination. I was never a very good athlete, so perhaps my training routines were not that great, but I've realized that it's a slog, and you have to just get from bit to bit to bit, and you have to be incredibly determined, and you have to do things when you don't want to do them. You have to do things when you're not in the mood to do them. You just have to be unrelentingly determined to try and create whatever it is you started to build.
And you must have found that when you started your first book.
Yeah.
What was that journey that you went on that meant determination?
I just thought I'd never be able to write a book. I mean, it really felt writing a novel as being impossible, and this was combined with, you know, a day job running my business. I'm a Ned. I was sitting on various boards at the time, so I just would have to allocate time, and I would just basically congratulate myself every time I wrote 500 words. I go, oh, I've done 500 words, and then when I finish a chapter, I'd think, oh, I've written 1 chapter. Let's see if I can write 2. Let's see if I can write 3, and that's kind of where it is. It's just very often doing it when you don't want to do it, fitting it between the cracks, doing half an hour here. I find it much easier to edit than I do to write. It's really hard to put the ideas down, but actually it's much more pleasurable once you have got something down to try and polish it and make it better. So for me, it's really about being incredibly resilient, incredibly driven to try and finish something, just to not, it's so easy to give up. And I would see that, I would see my failure as being unable to complete something rather than actually if I've written some shit, which is always a risk.
and then to your point about whatever it said, it needs to be said well as well. Editing must be is it the editing of the words or the storyline, or is that one in the same thing?
I think there's in all the books I read about how to write a book, they always talk this horrible expression about killing your babies, about being prepared to abandon something you think you've thought of at one stage as being good. So I think you've got to sense your dissatisfaction,
Yes.
and be willing to follow through, and just to say, you know what, I can do this better. Actually, the easy option would be just to let it be. The harder option is to keep going and keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
And the reality is, I don't think you're ever. I mean, I'm not sure I'm a truly creative person, but I'm sure truly great creative minds, I think it's probably very true, are never satisfied. It's just all, like all forms of ambition, it's a restlessness that you can never satiate. You can never get to that point. You just think you can always do it better.
Yes. Okay. And then hence wanted to write another book and another book and on to the
I just, you know, I'm on to the fourth actually.
Okay.
And you know, I think it's really important. I mean, there's another serious, I suppose, career point here, which is, we've done a lot of work as a executive search business about what the nature of ambition is, and people have always seen ambition as being a bad thing, as being something that means you're always grasping for your boss's job. It's not that. It's sometimes just about being a bit restless and wanting to do something different and wanting more of something. And for me, you know, writing has been a latter stage career development where I'm not doing, fortunately, I'm in the position where I don't have to do this commercially, which is very lucky, because I would genuinely be starving if I had to rely on any income from it. But it's the pleasure of saying, can I, you know, how well can I do? What can I create? Can people enjoy it? And that's the ultimate thing. You know, you do something for a purpose. Mine is, hopefully people will enjoy reading the books. Yeah,
fantastic. Well, we should all enjoy reading the book.
Exactly. Exactly. There are one or two left in the warehouse, so don't all rush at once.
Warehouse. Yeah, fantastic. Well, before we get run over, thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you, Nick. Lovely to be here.
Thank you. Cheers.